One of a student is interested in knowing that once these people are rescued, how are we supposed to deal with their psychology? Because they have gone through so much of trauma that it's not easy for each and every individual to understand their circumstances or their situation.
Yeah, there are certain protocols which are there with regard to what happens when you actually rescue and rehabilitate a child, and that includes a lot of psychosocial support. It includes counseling. It includes being part of the child's life, not just for that minute when they are rescued, but for an extended period of time to ensure that they actually manage to find some semblance of normalcy. These protocols do exist, but very often the struggle really is to put these things into practice. The protocols are there, everybody knows what needs to be done because it's there in a rule book, but have people been trained? Have they actually been given the skilled people actually available there, reaching out to those children when they need them? Those are the gaps that we need to fill, and I think that's going to be critical to make sure that the child, once rescued, has a near normal life.
Ma'am, you spoke about the children being rescued. Even being rescued, few children are like they are not out from the past life they had. So, and also because of the social stigma. So, how do you address these complexities, ma'am?
I think children are much more resilient than we imagine. So very often the children, have much greater aspirations and a much greater ability to bounce back. Okay. And very often, as adults, we don't need to, recognize that. We just need to be able to support them through that phase. So I think just making sure that they get a very fair chance at life, I think that's really critical to making them, get back, find something to do on their own feet. And as we were talking about, it's not just in an institutional setting, but possibly in the setting of, having a home, having a family that loves and cares for you. Because as defined by the fundamental rights of a child to have a family, that's very much part of it. So you have a right to a family, and if you can give a child a right to life, give a child a right to a family as well, so you get a more holistic upbringing. That again is a little difficult to find, but I think it just requires a change in the social mindset, so children are able to grow up in an atmosphere of love and care.
From a journalistic point of view, how do you think that one needs to report these stories? In what manner?
No, we have actually journalistic ethics to handle these cases, like how to report, and there should not be any kind of trace to reveal the children's identity, and also not only this identity of the children, the parents, and
The
this
complete
background also. So, and this being followed in most of the newspapers.
Okay.
But still, it's very pathetic to say some newspapers they do carry this the victim children's photographs even. I noticed it in one of the evening newspaper last 2 years before, and I informed the editor. Then they realized, okay, they should not. But anyway, it's published already. So the child's future is very important, and as a journalist, they should respect the child's future also. It's very important.
Thank you, Ms. Jayashree and Mr. Selvaraj, for your insight. Today at ACJ Engage, we have tried to cover the issue of child trafficking. We have talked about various aspects and hope you liked our show. So this was Priyadarshini Patwa
And Janardhan Kaushik. Thanks a lot for watching ACJ Engage. Have a good day.